This video is going to cover a leather notebook cover created by one of the students of the leather classes that we hold here at the shop. We had already done some work prior to recording the videos, so he's showing you how he etched out the fold where the fold will be on the notebook, and then this is the stitch groover that he used. He's already put the stitch groove on there. From there, with anything that you have that needs to be a particular size, you always want to use some type of tape, whether it's packaging tape or blue painter's tape, something to put on the back side of the leather to prevent it from stretching as you do any kind of tooling on it. Once you have all of the tape down, there's a next step that you can do, and that is to trim off all of the excess around the leather. It's not a necessary step, but when you're working with the leather, the tape will stick to your hands, it'll stick to the tools, so it's easier just to go ahead and just trim it off. Just make sure that you don't cut through any of the leather as you're doing it. Believe me, it's happened more than once. At the top of the screen, you can see a piece of paper there laying on the workbench. That's actually the pattern that he had drawn out. He went through several pieces of scrap leather practicing the basket weave stamp that you saw at the beginning of the video, the final product. So right now he's just kind of laying out where he wants to have that tooling done on the front cover of the notebook. Now with any leather project that you're going to be working on where you're stamping leather, you've got to wet the leather down. It's called casing the leather. It's just clear water. Got a little sponge there. If you decide that you want to use a sponge, they've also got sprayers. But if you do use a sponge, anymore they're putting antimicrobial solutions into the sponges that you buy at the store now. So either buy one from a leather shop that does not have any of that added chemicals, or see if you can find one at your local big box store. Sometimes you can find them that have the sponges that you use for like tile work and that type of thing that you can cut up into smaller pieces. Again, with each of these process steps that you're watching here, the student actually practiced multiple times on scrap leather. This is the first time that he's used a swivel knife other than the practice pieces. That's why he's going nice and slow. He's very deliberate. Just a fun student to work with. Really listen to direction. But he's actually using the swivel knife to follow along on the pattern that he drew on there. And as he goes down through there, he's making sure that he's holding the swivel knife perpendicular to the leather, dragging it down through the leather, cutting it. Prior to using the knife, we did strop it to make sure it had a nice sharp edge on it. As with most knife cuts you make with a swivel knife, you want to go through and bevel down one side of the cut. So that's what he's doing here. He'll follow this all the way down the length of it, and we got a pretty good do on the casing, and so you can see a nice dark space where he's been beveling it. He'll end up going over it multiple times, just trying to get that nice smooth finish. It takes a long time to get that where it's just right, where you cannot see the individual strike marks as you go down through there. But again, he's very deliberate, is really paying attention to detail, so just enjoy the next few minutes while he bevels this. You'll not get to see the actual basket weave stamp in this video. You'll have to wait for part 2. But he's going to go ahead and scribe the line here that he'll use to follow with the basket weave stamp. You'll end up working both sides of the line and then spreading out from there. But as you can see, the leather was starting to get a little dry, so we're going to go ahead and case the leather one more time, and we'll be ready for the basket weave stamp in our next video. Stick around, it'll come out in about a week or so.